Party people in the place to be. Live from 58 Dream Street. We're James and the Games. Happy Saturday, folks. Kind of a frustrating Saturday. Oh, goodness. Visual distractions in the background. I'll lose my mind. Oh, this room is a friggin' junk pile. Well, all right. Here we go. Hope your Saturday is treating you well out there. Mine is treating me well. It's just that I am late getting started here for two reasons. One being that a furniture delivery came at like a little bit beyond even the very broad delivery window that they gave us. Ultimately, it was a flash delivery because we had ordered a coach and a chair, and not to put too fine a point upon it, but even when we were there in the furniture store, I said, babe, this coach is too big. We should get the love seat, which is nice. It'll go nice with the chair. It'll be nice in our home. The coach is too big. And I was overruled. So we'd ordered the coach and the chair. They came to deliver them on Wednesday. And the coach could not be put into the elevator in our building. Would not fit. And then when they tried to bring it up the stairs, turned out it also couldn't fit up the stairs, because when it got to the junction at the landing of the stairs and had to turn, the next bit of the stairs was down to, like, there was just not physical space for it. It couldn't, like, even on an angle, there was no way to get it around and up the next part of the stairs, which was very frustrating at the time. But then, it worked out in my favor because we couldn't have it. So went back. They arranged. The furniture store was kind enough to arrange a hasty delivery of the love seat a few days later. Now we have our love seat. It's great, but the delivery was a little bit late, which I had planned to start early today, and instead I started late because of that. And then you might have noticed, or maybe you didn't. Depends if you have your stream notifications on and whatnot. That I had started this stream. I pressed start stream, and then after like 45 seconds, my computer just decided it didn't have a Wi-Fi card anymore. And I tried a few things to fix that, and eventually I did. I should probably just... it's just easier to do on Wi-Fi than to... because the modem has to be in a different room than to run a really, really long Ethernet cable in here, but probably I should just start doing that to be safe, but who knows. Anyway, things could be worse. Let's play Space Quest 6. The Spinal Frontier. British. Welcome. Speaking of the Avatar, having never played Disco Elysium before, I can't say for sure, but I feel like we must be like closer to the end than the start of that game. So at some point, we're going to go back for the second part of my Ultima 7 Part 2 Serpentile playthrough. And that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Not because I'm not having a great time with Disco Elysium. And also more generally, although it's not this week, but very, very soon, the winter term is truly over. And I want to believe that not only are we going to get the regular schedule under control here, because it has been erratic for months now, but I want to believe that we're also going to do some more stuff. I guess time will tell. So, I picked the episode name for a reason, which is that I genuinely do not remember. I will. Glad you were able to drop by long enough to say hi. And I'll be happy to know that you're out there lurking, British. Okay. So, alright. I'm in a place. I have an arm. What else do I have? I have this arm. Why? What is it?
It's the right arm circuit Sydney was so kind to loan you.
Right, I borrowed an arm and an eye from an android.
This is Sydney's left eye. It's a somewhat damaged CD-ROM disc.
Right, I used that earlier, but it didn't get removed from the inventory, so who knows? Quite possibly still has some purpose.
It's that Lord Master's keyring.
It's got a key ring of some kind. Yeah, there's a scary monster in here. Will it let me kill myself?
Now there's a real bright idea.
No.
But then perhaps you deserve the consequences. If the force field were turned off, you'd be the only one to suffer the consequences. In the event that someone might be looking over your shoulder, we'll save your embarrassment for another time.
So I wonder if that's a case of them having run out of the necessary budget to animate the death. Or perhaps that fellow's going to come up later. But it seems unlike any Sierra adventure to have a thing that would kill you. But when you try to do it, it just ignores you. Can we jack in with the eye?
Excellent guess, Kreskin. Wrong, but excellent.
No. Yeah. An android gave me this stuff.
You get fingerprints all...
Ah, right. Let's go to Roger's quarters for a moment. Yeah. I know that I was unsure what was going on when I ended last time, like I didn't know what to do, but now I don't even remember what I'm up to. Like what the vague thing in the plot is. Hopefully that will come to me soon. Do we have any communications? No messages. The database I've looked at, don't remember anything helpful happening. We have no cyber functions. Well, I'll revisit all the locations and do some random clicking, and we'll see what happens.
Janitor Wilco, you must have something to clean up somewhere. Make yourself scarce. We're very busy up here.
What's this control panel for?
You'll rearrange the commander's chair and he'll rearrange you.
Okay, should I change the litter box?
You release an extra burst of freshening powder.
Springtime fresh.
Okay. Obviously, I haven't clicked very thoroughly here. But... wait, I started in the brig. Going back there is probably not the answer right now. Probably has something to do with the arm and the eye. The Mr. Soylent thing isn't going to do much for me if I don't have a number to punch into it. 8 rear is, of course, it's Guinan's bar in parody form. There's our android friend. I don't know if there's anything else to do here because we can't. There's no second screen. Okay. Just continue accessing locations. The Holo-Cabana is the holo deck, as you might suspect. I'm not sure if there's anything I can do here. I mean, I suspect there's not. Enter a program code 5236. 957. Yeah. These number things I would need numbers for to advance with. If I look at the eulogy...
That's your relatively pathetic eulogy.
No, I do not get a close-up of the eulogy that would allow me to reach conclusions about some... Like, that would allow me to find a secret number. Okay. Roger's goal has something to do with knowing that evil is afoot.
It probably seemed like a good...
No.
Excellent.
I'm getting a lot of the generic error messages in this game.
It probably... That's an... Excellent guess.
Yeah. Okay. And what do they say?
Magnum doesn't talk. He fancies himself to be like one of those Buckingham Palace types. You consider saying hi until you...
And there's nowhere to go here. No. I mean, I haven't run out of areas yet, but we're getting awfully close. There's the sick bay, which is where this segment of the game started out. I don't think there's anything to do here, though.
You start to say something. He ignores you. What? Excellent guess. It probably seemed...
Can we mess around with these things? Seems like
It
no.
feels...
I've already done this.
That's
computer.
delightfully... It wouldn't be prudent to do...
And then the transporter. Like, I think the ultimate goal is the transporter, because there's somewhere we have to get to deal with the villain, who the regular heroes aren't thinking about. Can I bribe this android with an eye? Want a free
That's
eye?
an interesting idea.
No. It's an interesting idea, but no.
Excellent. Your words cause everything to become speechless. How dynamic of you.
I hope I never get so far gone that I...
It's interested only in...
Nope. Okay. Can we...
Careful, combining...
No. Can't attach the eye to the arm.
Nothing happened.
Oh, man.
It's interested only... I wouldn't try that if...
I think that's it, isn't it? Shuttle bay entrance. I mean, maybe I steal a shuttle somehow, but how? No, because that's where we just went that is guarded. So can they be distracted by throwing
It
an
probably
eye?
seemed like a good idea.
Or by throwing an arm?
Excellent gap. It probably... As cool...
What if I just try to go to the door? Is there some special dialogue? Or do they just kill me?
No amount of brute strength can pry these doors apart.
Press the button then.
An interesting idea.
No. Well, we're in a familiar place in this game where I just don't know what to do. Wait, does this play a role?
It would appear that merging... Excellent get.
Nope. I can't take this food.
Don't touch that.
Can I grab the food by reaching with the fake
It would
arm?
appear that merge...
Of course not. So what then? What could it be? What happens if I try to give... Alright, hold on. Ship's functions. Hollow joint. Program number. Is there an example of a program number in here?
You get fingerprint.
Yeah. Food replicator. Food replicators are available. Menus are available in the seat pocket in front of you. There's no seat pocket in front of you. Try looking behind you. If there's no secret pocket behind you, just hail a waiter or customer. If there's no waiter, please wait. It's nothing. The entity data. What about the science database? Dr. Beverage Crusher on her self-administered balloon angioplasty. Procedure uses a tiny inflatable balloon, etc.
It probably seemed like...
Nothing. What about the periodic table? There's nothing there. Okay. Let's go to the entity database for a moment. Right. Wait. This is not.
Excellent guess. As cool...
No. Okay. And then it's like all of this stuff. It's hard to... There could be something here, which is kind of frustrating. But I don't know what it would be. Exit. Got the data recorder, but I don't think it's...
Oh,
well,
great. The data quarter seems to be fried.
Ah. Hold on. Can we fix it by sticking an eye in?
Nothing happened.
Or an arm? Probably not.
Nothing happened.
I also have this dead fish. Can these aliens be tempted?
Boy, wouldn't it be... Boy, wouldn't...
Every now and then
It probably...
he eats one of those things. If I could drug them, that would take out half of the guards. What good would that be? I don't know. Well, go back to 8 rear for a moment. Because one thing I am curious about. Can I return this stuff? Don't know why I would want to.
Hey, you just got that from him. Perhaps you should use it first.
Yeah.
Boy, would... Excellent.
But why? But how? I just do not know. I'd be tempted to ask for a hint. But it's quite possible. I mean, yeah, it seems likely, even, that I'm just here by myself. Talking to myself in an empty room. Who knows? Can we take this?
You summon the ability to leave it alone.
Yeah. I really don't like... I think my least favorite thing about this
It's a hovercraft for transporting
is the
replicated
proliferation
food.
of generic error messages.
This is a dispenser that releases a steady stream.
Is there any graffiti that looks like a message?
Cell 106 is infamous for the permanent blood stain on the floor. That stain came into being when Red Bovine, a Ferbangi slave trader, tried to escape by crawling out the porthole
I've
and
tried.
immediately imploded.
Punching these
That's why they
numbers
refer
here.
to it as the red blood cell.
But I don't know. Hold on. 0084792. I don't think there's anything to do with these numbers, but what if there is?
This is the brig area, where transgressors are placed for punishment in order to strike fear into. But the subtlety is usually lost on these
And go here and sit down. But why?
It would appear. It probably.
Can I sit down and reach with the arm to...
That's an interest. Boy.
From inside here, can I press the button? Probably not. No, it's just going to go to
Now
there.
there's a
This
You
one I
flick
can
the
turn
force
back
field
on.
on and off just so you can feel like a real security guy. You flick the force field on. The brig is... This is the brig in order to strike, but the subtlety... It's a hovercraft for transporting replicated food. Excellent guess, Craig. Excellent. Boy, that's an...
Clicked around with the fish for a moment because I thought, what if I click on the ground, he throws the fish on the ground, then I can turn the thing off because the thing will come out and eat the fish. But why? What benefit would that have for me? What benefit can any of this have for me? Let's go for a second to Mr. Soylent. Confirm that these two numbers don't work here. 002 3 6 5 7. Enter. Nothing happens. 8 4 7 9 2. Enter.
It sure doesn't feel punctured.
What?
It sure doesn't.
I don't know. Excuse me, what? Got a message? Keep track of what Danielle's up to. No, she's telling me to have fun. I'm sort of having fun. Okay. The fact that the number strings are just long enough makes me wonder, like...
You get fingerprint.
Hold on. Where else have we seen Mr. Soylent things? Like, I know obviously there's 1 in 8 rear. So what if it works on one of them, we can clone the scary monster. And then it sends people fleeing. I mean, really, you'd think that the places I might want to do that would be the shuttle bay entrance or the transporter. I don't think there's any option there to do that. This feels like the ultimate goal. But is it? Because the goal could just as easily be to get to use the transporter. Okay. Confirm. I'm pretty sure there's no Mr. Soylent. No.
I wouldn't try that if I were you. It's a sea.
Is there a point of interaction that I have not clicked on yet? There could be. Really feels.
And we thought the Elvis 1987 poster in our office was tasteless. Don't interrupt them.
Well, try the numbers here. Who knows? Like, the fact that they are just long enough makes it seem like they must be something.
It sure doesn't.
And yet. Try the other one, I guess.
It sure doesn't feel.
ball of dirt with 50 billion souls who like to sit around and veg down in the dark like moles. But me, I'm just the kind of girl who loves the open
I have to take a quick
air
intermission
and
because
bits of
Abra
unburned
is wailing like a
hydrocarbons
mad kitty.
blowing through
I'm gonna
my
check on her.
hair.
Hang tight, gang.
Toilet
If there's a
clean
gang
at
here.
last it's here with
Enjoy this
clearly
weird
better
song.
taste.
I'll be right back
Less
with you.
people too, like me and you, and less reprocessed waste. More hearty crunch for snacks or lunch. It's crystal clear to see. New Soylent Clear, the last frontier for folks like you and me. New Soylent Clear, clearly less people, clearly more taste.
And we're back. I don't think anything was up with Abra. Nothing going on. She was just shouting for the joy of her own voice. And here we are.
It's that Lard Master's keyring.
Is this card involved?
Excellent guess, Kresk.
No. Unless... I think I already did that, though, right? Wasn't that a thing that happened in the sick bay? Okay. Can I re-engage with the DNA machine?
That's delightfully non-helpful.
Doesn't look like it.
You summon the... It wouldn't be prudent to...
But on this specific one, can we swipe this card?
As cool as it would be
No,
to...
because I think that already happened. I should have realized when I didn't know where the hell when I thought about it and couldn't remember where I was or what I was doing. That's probably when it should have clicked for me that I should rewatch the video from last time. The only thing I can remember advancing besides getting the android guy to give me things while I've been here was once spending time in Roger's room and then
We didn't
receiving
make
a
this
message.
game just so you could crawl into bed and go back to sleep. That mop is a... Unless there happens to be a star generator in the immediate vicinity, this remote won't be of any use to... And there isn't? Don't bother with it. The battery... You won't be needing the whistle. You won't need that hint book. You've already... You won't need it. It's reminding you of your inadequacy just fine where it is. The table of... That cigar butt... It wouldn't be prudent to...
What's this? It's my Mr. Soylent. Can either of these numbers be entered into this? Is there a reason why I would want to do that? No, because the 2 is
Don't try to get anything out of this. Don't try to get anything
Ah.
out of this machine. You'll only succeed in getting your fingers stuck to the... You leave a greasy smudge on the screen. Don't try to get anything...
Okay. What if I stuck an eye in it?
Excellent guess.
No. Can I have a message yet? Can something else happen? What about this?
You never learned how to work these controls.
No. Have 0 messages. Be great if I could send messages or do something.
Don't touch that.
But I don't know.
It feels slightly grit. That's delightful.
Okay. Can I go? Have I tried? Okay. If it turns out to be as simple as standing here and talking to this.
It's interested only in its job. It has not one speck of personality. In fact, it could make you look like the life of any party.
Okay. Will it do its friggin' job then?
I wouldn't try that if I...
No.
You start to...
I hope I...
Can't get Roger to say, like, energize. Abra. All right. Gotta check on this cat again. She's just being real loud. Hang tight. Okay, we're back. I don't know. I think what I'm going to do, since I'm making no progress right now anyway, is I'm going to load back a little to before we came to the space station or large ship that we're on right now. Okay, what did I do here? Oh. Here there was...
That's not going to help.
I remember this puzzle. I
You
solved
give the piston
it
a yank, and
by
sure enough,
clicking
it comes
randomly and
loose
it's
in
just
your
working
hand.
out for me.
Perhaps it was your raw strength. More than likely, it was defective.
And then taking this, pry this thing open.
Good thinking! Wedged in the door, the manual override control causes the piston to strain against the door. It pushes a few inches and seems
This
to
part
strain
was
at that point.
puzzly. Like getting the piston was just a thing that simply happened.
Wilco!
Oh, hi, Stellar. What are you doing here?
There's no time to talk,
Stella
Roger.
arrives.
We've got to get out of here now. 1, 2, 3.
Oddly plotted sequence.
Just as
because,
you
like,
crash to the floor of the turbo shaft, the hydro riser
does
piston gives
nothing to
way,
help.
and the door slams shut.
She didn't
with
help
Stellar
Roger
still
anyway.
trapped inside.
She'd already solved the problem. And then she arrives. And then, if she had needlessly
You
delayed
claw and pull at the seams of the bulkhead door, but to no avail.
that big,
Just
long
then,
slow- if she
you
just said,
hear
"Let's
and feel
go,"
an explosion, which seems
would've
to have
both got
come
in.
from behind the door.
Okay, explosion happens. This is at least refreshing my memory.
The door is sealed tight. You can hear no other noise after the ear ringing from the blast subsides.
My God, I can't believe this. It can't be happening.
Okay,
She was, I was. Stellar!
He cries out to her. Her funeral.
It's hard to believe that this is the Hollow Suite. The setting is much like the graphics you've scanned in the library from those planets more interesting in their climatic diversity. From the scenic jutting peaks, soft hills. Unfortunately, you are feeling as you have... This, however, enough smart...
Ladies and although I believe her.
So we have this funeral. Solved the eulogy puzzle.
I only knew Stellar for a short time. I wish I, could have gotten to know her much better. To have had a deeper understanding of this, person. I was proud to have called friend. Of my friend, I can only say this. Of all the souls I have encountered in my cleaning, hers were the most scuff-resistant.
So at least refreshing my memory a bit of what's going on. The DNA analysis thing happened earlier now. Earlier than when I remembered. So, I'm going to come back to here. My big thought had been, what if there was something I was supposed to do during the DNA analysis that I just didn't do? But I don't know. I have to bite the bullet. It's in here somewhere, isn't it? Okay. Here we go. These repugnant creatures are known for their... I'm just going to read quickly and silently, unless I see something interesting. I've already read this one. Okay. The big dealers. Boom, boom. Okay. Oh, wait. The bicranial crud snorter. Imagine a crud snorter, only with a bifurcated cranium. Bicranial crud snorters are limber, simian creatures with frontal lobes the size of Telosian binary kasbahs. I would assume this makes them smarter than the average simian. I would be very wrong. Bicranial crud snorters prove the old adage that it's not how big your brain is, it's what you do with it. Just like their monocranial cousins, they spend most of their time snorting crud and hacking it out again. Extended coughing fits that often last up to 12 hours. When they're not gagging and choking, bicranial crud snorters enjoy swimming, cycling, jazz, and eating gibberellian dust mites. Alright. Nothing yet. Have I learned the name of the enemy aliens? Because that would certainly narrow it down, but it's not coming to me. So, let's see. Hold on. Does more here just take me back? Yes, it does. Okay. I'll survive just going through. It's just... Way back in Space Quest 4, when I didn't want to reread the whole hint book because I was sure I'd already read it and made all the notes, and one of the solutions was just there, also in the hint book. Well, that memory is sticking with me. And this gets us to that, what could I have done? What I could have done is paid more attention. I stopped taking notes on these games at some point. When I started playing the King's Quest series, I was being assiduous in drawing maps and noting everything I found. And at a certain point, I was like, oh, well. And when I started the Space Quest series, it was like, these are like contained little areas. Like, it doesn't seem necessary to map them because you're not in one big place, one big grid. And then it also just, when you're not typing in words, it starts to seem less important to write down notable words. A replicator code for the Borthnick Boulder Beaver. You know what? Not exactly filled with the confidence that this will be it. But what if it was? I'm not going to stop here. Let's go through. But if there's even a single thing, even if all this does is get us a funny death, where... Oh, wait, no. The replicator would be making the sweet, spicy leaves. Okay. I don't see how, even if I can do that, it would advance the plot here, but who knows. The Irinon sea urchin is a pitiful little creature, doesn't really care who knows it. Cries constantly, but is only recently discovered since the creature lives underwater. Refuses to play with the other Irinon sea urchins. However, some of its feelings are understandable. After all, it's just about the ugliest sucker on Irinon. Its spiny quills make romance a tedious and impractical affair, and its gonads are highly prized as sushi, which make you cranky too. Fair. What about the Astrosian sea slugs? Slug, it's carnivore, it's something, etc. Can easily survive for extended periods, underwater, on land, or in space. But due to its numerous disgusting habits and unrestrained lifestyle, the Astrosian sea slug would not hold up for more than 5 minutes under the scrutiny of the liberal media. Cute. Okay. Okay, well. One segment of the alphabet down, one possible clue found. Golanian gutter rats are so slimy, sniveling, and nasty that they give a bad name to all other gutter rats. And they're called gutter rats because they're bad bowlers. Not only do they rarely break 100, but they talk loud and cuss when other people are seriously trying to bowl. Their preferred diet is the bowling alley combo: fries, burgers, hot dogs, and beer. Replicator code 676. 2876. Alright, I should have bit the bullet on this so long ago. Burger and fries. Okay. With the green slime. Half animal, half vegetable, and half lousy mathematician. Haha. I remember this green slime. It was in Space Quest 4. You can carry it around in glass, even though it dissolves everything else. I remember an Encyclopedia Brown mystery book. I think it was Encyclopedia Brown, where one of those, you read like a little short story, and then at the end it's like, can you figure it out? And I think it was Encyclopedia Brown, like I said, Einstein, anyway, whatever. This nerd kid, his friend calls him and is like, hey, I've invented a universal solvent. And takes it over and shows all the different things he can dissolve in it. It's got it in a little glass. And then the nerd character is like, oh, very nice try. Your soda or whatever it is can dissolve a lot of things, but I see right through it. This is not a universal solvent. It's like, how did he know? Because if it's a universal solvent, it should not. I'll read anything I see that's funny. This is kind of funny. There's an appropriate moment to note that tentacles comes from the root 10 tickles, since the Andromedan decapus, with its 10 serpentine flexible appendages, tickled its foes to death. Nice. Coronian killer mammal. What are they saying? Oh, it's not a universal solvent if you can hold it in a glass. Why isn't it dissolved glass? Well, same thing with the whatever. Coronian killer mammal eats dust mites, which we can replicate. Don't see how any of these things, even if I replicated them, would help. But what if they did? I really should have done this much sooner. I should have just accepted it was my destiny to click through all of these. It feels like this is taking us to church. Coronians are vegans, prefer local flora. So Coronian flora can be replicated. Can all these things actually be replicated? And if so, do they produce hilarious deaths? Or do they clog up my inventory with potential red herrings? Or are we going to need all of this? Coronian flora. Probably the answer is you don't need all of it. It's mostly red herrings. And the missing piece... Clinging girlfriend Ivy. The missing piece is probably that I'm supposed to recognize the name of one of these things. But it feels like if that's true, it'll be, some kind of villain alien, and so their description won't sound like wildlife. I don't know, though. Labian cave squid, a fish-like mammal, which is not yet realized it's a land dweller, so it still tends to squirt ink. What does that have to do? Which is oh, right, because why would you squirt the ink if it's not going to create a cloud in the ocean? So that cave squid sounds very delusional. Labion root monster. We've already been to Labion, I believe, in one of the earlier games. Yes. Space Quest 2, right? Let me confirm that. For my own curiosity. Google this quickly. Yes. Yeah, it's the jungle, where there was a root monster, among other things. Well, you know what? Let's just go through.
Don't
just in
pick
case.
at it.
Shut up. Shut up, Owens. Probably the things that are obviously from the other games aren't the thing. I should be looking for what's in this game. But another replicator code. The preferred food of the Levion Terror Beast. Probably not going to get to make this stuff, but who knows? Wait, is the... Hold on. I gotta actually reread the words here. Or read them for the first time. Starshock bush. Previous page. No, because this thing was like a... Okay. For a moment I was like, is that what the prisoner is? Latex babes. These natives of the planet Estros are unusually nubile humanoid females, although the occasional wily, stringy male is not unheard of. Turn-ons include constructing the finest underwater craft in the galaxy, arc welding, shopping. Turn-offs are Astrosian sea slugs, plaque buildup above the gum line, and two-timing janitors. Oh ho. Favorite... Oh, geez. 2 replicator codes. 8771877. Replicator code for... Why am I noting that these are all replicator codes? I just have this long list of numbers, after which I've written rep, and then in parentheses the thing that it corresponds to. But they're all... This is just a list of replicator codes. That's an unnecessary column. I'll start doing the quotation marks. Stimpinski, hail! I finally got to read your RPG update. So if you haven't already answered me in the Discord, I will ask you whether you're planning to keep your adventure going into the part where they become the caretakers of the wolves in the forest while they wait for the wolf god to reincarnate. I have accepted my fate that probably the solution to how to advance in this game is somewhere in this database of creature information. Ah. That's fair. It can be tough, I find, to come up with stick around and protect a place type adventures in RPGs. People get restless. They want to explore. And so like it'll impose burdens on them, and then later if there's a situation where they could protect some wolves, it leaves them trying to make a choice about whether to do that or to do something else. That sort of thing. Okay. Cool. So it does, like, it's not just flavor text. It matters. So anyway, I finally accepted that this, because I can't find anything else to do on the space station. I was like, probably because I have both the holodeck and the replicator where I can punch in strings of numbers. I bet there are strings of numbers. The ultimate GM challenge of staying one step ahead of the metagaming of your players. So I started clicking through, and so far I have in fact found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 replicator codes in the text. I am urgently hoping that the text itself doesn't contain hints. Probably something gummed extensively before being swallowed. Pulpy food. I don't think it is going to be this, because there's two possible filters here, because it can't possibly be that all of these numbers matter. Perhaps none of them matter. It seems most likely that like one of them matters, and that I'm supposed to, I should know how to filter. Wandering atheist shoots. And it might simply be that the way to figure out how to filter is to recognize... Well, we're down to the last one. S to Z. To either recognize one of these names as a nemesis in this game. What if back when... No, we did the DNA scan and it showed me a name, I think. Alternately, maybe the idea to... filter. Either filter it by knowing what I'm looking for, or by recognizing all the things from previous games and being like, well, we're not dealing with these anymore. Two more replicator codes. Oh my, I've almost filled this index card. Space monkeys were in this game, but we've already dealt with our space monkeys. No, they weren't in this game, were they? They were in the last one. which means probably this is not it. I should be... As soon as I had that thought, I should have started putting down like an asterisk next to everyone that I thought I could rule out. They're like brine bananas, which sound disgusting. I mean, lots of this food sounds unappealing. There's only 4 left. If it turns out that the answer to this puzzle is in the Vulgars, are the enemies in this game called Vulgar? I haven't heard anything of that. But that just seems like how it would go because it's the very last one. We'll see. If there's a number in there and something about it is different. I feel like Vulgar or Vulgars. The Vulgars are a peaceful race of brilliant and logical thinkers whose only real joy in life is to stride around the galaxy with superior attitudes and correct other people's grammar and spelling. They also enjoy designing... Oh, I get it. No, these aren't enemies in this game. It's a joke about Vulcans. They also enjoy designing outer space strategy simulation games. This makes them nearly as insufferable as university academicians, but not as well paid. Considering their placid and studious lifestyle, it's interesting to note that the Vulgars have developed an extremely practical martial arts technique called the Vulgar nerve pinch. This is a tactile oral maneuver in which the pincher pinches the bundle of nerve fibers at the base of the neck while whispering dialogue from either Tango and Cash or Hudson Hawk. This particular, I see a number, combination of stimuli results in a searing flash of pain and then unconsciousness, which can last for several hours. The technique is demonstrated in Holo-Joint. Maybe one of these bits of food is going to be necessary, but the fact that we get a Holo-Joint code here, and that it's going to teach me the equivalent of the Vulcan nerve pinch, and that we have 2 guards stopping us from getting to the shuttle bay, because we believe that... Not just believe, we know that Stellar is still alive. Okay. Alright, and this is also the teleporter. Maybe, just maybe, this is it. If this doesn't work, we'll go and we'll start replicating foods and see which ones work out for us. Actually, even if this does work, I'm still going to try to replicate some of these alien foods, whether or not they're puzzles. Okay. 555-1212. Up. On. Okay, so it lets you enter a much longer string, which make it very hard to guess. I mean, not like guessing a 7-digit number is easy anyway. Okay. Okay, hey!
Welcome to Holo Suite Program 555-1212, the Vulgar Nerve Pinch. Despite our reputation for being pacifist, we Vulgars have developed an extremely practical martial arts technique used mainly for defensive purposes. It is called the Vulgar Nerve Pinch. This is a tactile oral maneuver in which the applier pinches the bundle of nerve fibers at the base of the neck while whispering into the victim's ear dialogue from either Tango and Cash or Hudson Hawk.
Yes, we read all this.
This particular combination of nerve stimuli and loss of cerebral control due to the torturous mantra of movie dialogue results in a searing flash of pain and then unconsciousness. In effect, it is similar to a temporary orally induced robotomy. Victims are soon rendered unconscious for several hours. When they awaken, they will remember nothing of how they came to be unconscious, if they are extremely lucky. I shall demonstrate on my most eager volunteer. You will please to pay attention. Address the subject in this manner. Please to notice the location of my hand as I begin the narcotic chant of cinematic morphine.
He mutters something thankfully unintelligible into the ear of the volunteer.
Oh, thank you, sir. Maybe you can fix me up with your sister. I kept all the way up to
Were they worried about getting sued for copyright infringement if they referenced a line from one of the films?
hubba going in the wee. And I used to like that.
So, as you can see, it is very effective. If you can apply a proper grip to the neck, it will disable 9 out of 10 neck-bearing species.
Oh, but does the guy guarding the shuttle bay have a neck?
Think of it.
Hey, 3 points. There's no item representing my knowledge, but hopefully I can... Hopefully, Roger will just do it if I use the hand on someone who I want to knock unconscious and it's the right person. Let's go to 8 rear, though, and see if I can replicate some food. Either for actually advancing the game purposes or for comedy purposes. Let's try burger and fries first. The safest sounding one. 6, 7, 2, 2, 8.
It sure does.
7, 6. Nothing happens. Okay. Perhaps there is later going to be a replicator puzzle, and it's just a separate concern. I don't remember Roger always having such like a slump-shouldered walk, but then again, he has saved the universe over and over and just gets more and more put upon and disrespected. This guy's got no neck.
I really don't think that's a good idea.
But this one has a neck.
Ooh, boy, I got you with my fingers in your Kurt Russell. Now you can't get away. I got you now that you've got a... Hard to believe this is a real job. Oh, my God. So how come you're not going down? I got you with your mumble jumbo and your hubba chubba. Ooh, boy, if I only could, I would. Jeez, why don't you step outside, pal? I got you with this, and I think I broke a fingernail here.
Looks like it's working. But then... I'm putting the brick. Is that what I wanted to happen?
Enjoy, Mr. Wilco. Oh, the cushy life will be a vague memory after you are sent to one of the labor camps on Daventry 8.
Hey, that's a reference that we understand. Okay, Roger takes all that food.
It's one of the interestingly shaped pastries you took from the...
Cool. Bobbit kebabs. They whip up some interesting food items in this joint.
It's the donut you filched from the food cart. It's a plate of grill hair spaghetti. It's a nice round
I remember what this is. It's a rack of Orat. Haven't seen this stuff since Space Quest 1.
It's a tuberous growth of some sort from the food cart.
Calling it a
These look like
tuberous
something
growth
they
makes it
cleave
sound
from the
grosser
side of Yoda's
than a
head.
root vegetable needs to sound. Sorry, what
These
was
look like something they cleave from the...
Can I nerve pinch him real quick? No. So... Ooh. Does the force field not stop android arms?
It probably seemed like a good idea.
It did seem like a good
That's
idea.
an...
Okay. I'm not sure that I was supposed to get caught. But the fact that there's then, something happening makes it seem like maybe I am supposed to have gotten caught. Is it just a matter of waiting for the next thing to happen?
It would appear...
I just try to leave. No. Ah, something happening. He lets me out. He sends in more food.
This is some very fine food, whatever it is. I'm sure you'll find it quite to your liking. Heck, it's probably better than what they feed you janitors. Live it up! Oh, that darn light needs to be amplified. I need to contact maintenance.
Okay, hold on.
While that's an interesting idea...
No, take the donut.
As you run your... While that's an interest... While that's an... While that... Not now. Dorf is looking.
Yeah, I think I get it. I'm supposed to hide under this cart when he lets it in, but... Frederick! Welcome! No, well, you missed all of me reading the entire friggin' monster database to find out that the number I needed was in the very last entry. But that's pretty much the only development you missed. I went to the holodeck, I learned the Vulcan nerve pinch, Vulgar nerve pinch. I used it and got immediately put in the brig because only one of the two guards of the shuttle bay has a neck. Now, obviously, I just gotta figure out the clicking here because this is pretty clear.
Enjoy.
When he turns around.
While that's an interesting idea. While that's an... As you run your hand over the graffiti-covered bare plastostone walls of the...
No.
Not now.
Duh. It seems so very clear that the goal here is for Roger to hide in the food cart during the brief window. Maybe I'm wrong. Or am I supposed to just nerve pinch him when he turns around? This cart is going to drive me crazy if it's not just a friggin' sheet over a cart. Seems like a perfect way to smuggle myself out. But I don't know. Hope your Saturday's going well, Cedric. I also might just run out of time. We might get... Roger gets, sentenced to... No.
Golly, this food looks so good it might be worth becoming a prisoner for.
Okay, let's just...
While that's an interesting... While that's an interesting idea, even Dorf would notice... Not now.
The last
Dorf
part?
is looking.
Do you mean like Drick? Or... Because I definitely didn't say... Owl 228 just now.
As you run your...
But I think I referred to you just by saying, I hope your Saturday is going well. Yeah. Yeah. It was nothing any more specific than a generic, how's it going kind of.
While that's an interesting idea, as you run... While that's an interest... While that's an... While that...
Okay. Now maybe I just wasn't supposed to be captured yet. But it's not the way I want the thing to turn out. Blueprint sounds very cool. Well, the good news is that you've got a little bit of lead time because it's going to be another weird schedule week where we're going to do Friday Night Frosthaven on Wednesday, and then no beat 'em up show this week, so the streak is over after 2. And then on Friday night, because Danielle's away on the weekend, we're going to both, for the sake of getting into Jamie stream, and for us practicing logistics so that Jamie can soon, hopefully, be on Friday Night Frosthaven, I'm going to do a Jamie stream on Friday night, but I think to fit the later night theme, there is a visual novel game I follow the creator on Blue Sky. It's about a vampire. I think it's about vampires on like a reality show or something. It's called Fledgling Manor, and I've been meaning to check it out. And to keep with the playing at night as Jamie, I'm going to do instead of carrying on with Leisure Suit Larry. There is that. There certainly is that. Okay. Can I?
It probably seemed like a... It's a hovercraft for transporting replicated food.
Yes, and... very difficult for me to tell. Drives me crazy that you get the "not while he's looking" message if you click on it after he turns around, but you get nothing
as you run your... While that's an interesting idea, even Dorf would notice that something would be missing where there were 2 things, the cart and you.
Right. Right. Okay. At least that's a specific error message. Can I use all of the food that I took to make a distraction Roger in the bed? Let's see.
It probably seemed like a good... It would appear that... Boy, wouldn't it be cool if that... Nothing happened.
Or can I combine things?
Careful.
To make a dummy...
Nothing. In this gap. 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 This is now your bed. Suddenly you find yourself wondering what kind of festering, slimy, pus-laden criminals have sat on this very bed, and what they've left behind.
Enjoy. I'll be back.
No, just sitting down is not the thing I'm asking you to do, Roger. Come on.
As cool as it would be to interface these 2 items, no good.
Okay. go back to before I was a prisoner. And let's go back to 8 rear, where there's a replicator. And see if any of these replication codes work in a way that creates something that I can use to make a feels like making that thing should be the answer, but I don't know. Or maybe I was never supposed to get captured. I'm gonna try.
It sure doesn't feel...
Feels like probably not, because I have all these numbers and it's not even giving me a nothing happens message, which suggests to me that probably either A, it's completely a red herring, but perhaps more likely that it's just not going to happen yet. Like, later there's going to be a puzzle involving the replicator and then it might work for the answer. I don't know. And if I'm going to just go get captured again, I might as well go back to here. Why give me so many different food items?
In this galaxy. In this... Careful. Nothing. In this...
Can I eat the food?
Excellent guess, Kreskin.
No.
Boy... Excellent. Boy, would... Excellent. It probably seemed like... That's an... Home sweet home.
Yeah.
If you look at it, it's a sink. If you smell it, it's a toilet.
Well, let's just look at it.
You don't have the option to smell things anymore, Roger.
Enjoy, Mr. Wilco.
While that's an interesting idea, even Dorf would notice that something would be missing where there were two things, the cart and you.
Which is why it would be nice if you would cooperate with my scheme to assemble a fake Roger here.
Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
But you can't combine any of these items. What's the significance of him having made a whole feast the first time and then just being like, here's a single donut?
It would appear as cool. Excellent.
Can we run the sink?
Why doesn't this darn sink work? What's wrong with this ship anyway? Sorry I lost control like that.
Well,
I'm better now.
Can we clog the toilet?
Boy, wouldn't it... Careful. In this gap. Careful. Nothing
Is there one particular food, like can
Excellent
I eat
guess, Kreskin.
the kebabs and then have sticks? I was like, hey, I clicked and something's happening. No, nothing's happening. More than happy to hear any thoughts that anyone else might have.
Enjoy. I'll be back to pick up the cart. With the force field on, I trust you won't be going anywhere. I have some matters to attend to now.
Wait. I wait long enough and he... No.
Well, that's an interest...
No, he just has some dialogue, continuing to taunt me with the fact that I'm obviously supposed to be masterminding an escape.
I don't have to go right now. I went just before you started playing.
But Roger, in theory, days have passed.
Boy, wouldn't it be... It would appear... This is now your bed. Suddenly you find yourself wondering what kind of festering, slimy, pus-laden criminals have sat on this very bed.
And Dorf comes back, or Dork, or Dort, whatever his name was, and we play the sequence again.
Enjoy, Mr. Wilco.
Can I put food back on the cart?
That's an interesting idea.
It is an interesting idea in that...
Excellent. As cool. Boy, that's an... Boy.
If I use my hands on myself, can I take my clothes off in order to stuff them?
You pinch yourself to make sure this isn't all a bad dream.
Nope. Can I do that? Probably not. But let's find out.
You pinch yourself to make sure... While that's an interesting idea, even Dorf would notice that something would be missing where there were two things, the cart and you.
It could just be that there is like somewhere else I'm supposed to have found a dummy.
That's a
definitely feels like a thing that the arm could be involved in, right?
Boy,
you stuff some things under the sheet to make like a bump, but then you leave the arm hanging out. Definitely sells the idea there's a person in there, but it's not obvious to me that that's going to work because it's not working. It's actively not working.
These look like something they cleaved from the side of Yoda's head.
So they're like ears.
It's a tuberous growth of...
But are they? Can we put them on the watermelon?
Careful, combining those items might...
No. Can we stick the eye to the watermelon?
In this
so it's
galaxy...
like a face? No. No, we can't. My mind's stuck in a rut here. I want the solution to be a thing that it probably isn't going to be. Alright, should go back and try more things in the Holo-Cabana. Not the Holo-Cabana, sorry. The 8 rear or anywhere that has the replicator. I don't know. Can't think of anywhere else where there's someone I could obviously nerve pinch. Can we nerve pinch this Elvis?
Yeah, just walk over and feel them up. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. And we're sure you'll enjoy it when you're the recipient of some nice phaser blast ventilation.
Okay. What if... No, because like the fact that you can get into the brig just makes it seem like definitely being in the brig is part of the quest. So there's probably not a way to figure out how to get past that guy. Okay. Let me try 5 numbers here. See if any of them do anything. Even give me an error message. Nothing. I tried burger and fries. I tried dust. 6, 8, 3, 8, 6, 8, 7. Nothing.
It sure doesn't.
Don't love getting the error message if you click off the thing. Six, 5, 6, 5, 8, 8, 5, 6, 1. It's Roger out of replicator credits for some reason. Can I get even more stuff?
Sydney won't be interested in talking to you any further until you return his body parts.
Can we borrow every single one of Sydney's body parts, was my thought. Can I do the Vulcan nerve pinch?
Sure, it's hard not.
The Vulgar nerve pinch, sorry. It must be something. That's a theory I'm working with. But surely there is something. But is there? What if long, long ago in the game I was supposed to pick up the Roger dummy and I just didn't?
You get finger.
And like one thing could be that you get yourself arrested, but you've taken them down to one guard. When you sneak out, you bribe him with lots of food. Can't bribe him with this nasty dead fish.
It probably.
Hold on.
Magnum opus belongs to an elite StarCon fighting forces called the Flying Flingers, FF for short.
Nope. So if it says what kind of alien he is, maybe I could look it up in the database. I guess I should anyway. Do any of these seem like they could be him? No, these are all... Wait, Bjorn's? Nope. Okay. Because, like, if I'm getting all these codes, then if any one of these seems like it could be him. What's a Grell? Grell are from Corona. They were immense. But they're extinct now. Okay. Ugh. I don't know. I do not know. None of these sound like our big boy. He's not an Orat. Is he a Fleabadinsky? Probably not. Probably I'm just supposed to escape somehow. I am supposed to be arrested and then escape. But how?
You summon the ability to leave it alone. I really don't think that's a good idea. He's not the touchy-feely type.
And he has no neck. So I can do this. Roger knocks her out, but then obviously he gets immediately arrested. We do get points for it, but that doesn't mean anything.
I got you with my fingers in your Kurt Russell. No, you can't get away.
Skip all the dialogue. It's flicked, but not killed. Knocked unconscious. And then For the first time, a smorgasbord. Just seems so clear that you should be able to use all this stuff to put it under the sheet and create a fake Roger.
You are very fortunate tonight.
Okay. If I get up and get the food, a couple of points. But then what?
Boy, it probably... Not now. Dorf is looking.
And then Dorf's looking again. But it doesn't matter, because if he wasn't looking, it would still be, hey, dummy, like, you don't think he's going to notice that? Okay. Well, I gotta run to the bathroom. If anyone gets an idea while I'm in the washroom, please do feel free to type it in the chat. Hang tight, gang. I'll be right back with you. And we're back. Ooh, this is definitely one of those puzzles, but you're on the right track. Okay. Now, obviously, I could just ask you to clarify the one thing that I'm wondering. Oh, you know what? Jeez. I don't think the sound is oppressive enough in this game that it was that big a deal, but I did not turn the sound down after the intro song. So the minimalist interpretation is just, yeah, you got to escape somehow. The maximalist interpretation is you do have to make a fake Roger out of the food. You know what? When I fucking just said, fine, I'll read every goddamn thing in that goddamn database, it worked.
In this galaxy, careful, combine. Nothing happened.
It won't. It'll take much less time.
In this galaxy, careful, combining.
Than it took to read all of the stuff. To just go down the line.
In this galaxy.
If it turns out to be a stupid do it in the precise order thing.
Careful. Nothing happened.
We can brute force that.
Careful, combining. Now it has some cool ears.
Okay. So we put ears. Yeah, that feels like it should be part of it. And indeed, I bet... Okay. Maximalist interpretation. We are making a fake Roger. We've put ears on the kebabs. Can I do this without brute force? Can we make a head?
Careful.
No. The melon is totally the head. This is totally the body. And yet...
Nothing happened.
Okay.
Nothing Careful. Careful. The rack of a rat adds a nice touch.
Okay. Oh, so those aren't like ears. These are the legs. The kebabs are the legs, and then we have little elf feet.
Careful.
This is definitely one of those puzzles in the sense that it seems that I like said what the answer was out loud right as soon as I encountered it. But then it's a whole bunch of finicky, do it in the right order. But also, even as I'm now solving it, I'm looking at it, I'm like, what am I doing?
An interesting idea.
And it worked. So those are arms. So are we not going to use the android arm at all?
A touchment of that adds something more to your work in progress.
Okay, and then the melon, and then this is the hair.
How creative. That's a nice touch.
Well, it's not the worst puzzle, because, like, the solution makes sense. But, like, having to do it in the right order is kind of strange. Good thing Dorf just keeps bringing me a new donut every, like 45 seconds? Even when I'm not eating the donut?
Mr. Wilco.
Are we serious? Oh, because he's nearsighted. I couldn't have predicted that the food Roger would just be left sitting there.
Nice work. Sometimes you actually surprise me.
Now, I'm not sure that I should act quickly.
You don't?
Take the donut, Roger. You clearly want to get that donut.
You don't?
Wait.
You don't need 2 donuts.
Oh,
Trust
I never...
me.
Okay. Right. The donut was the only piece of food that we did not use there. So, now... What? Well, let's go to Roger's quarters. The last place they would ever think to look for him. I'm not sure if in all of my clicking before I decided to just do every click. Like, did I ever click any 2 items that did go together in the end? I don't know. Okay. So I've got a donut.
It's the donut you filched from the food cart.
I don't know, it's filched. He gave it to me. That's my donut. Okay. But then what? Well, while it seems unfathomable that he wouldn't just conk me again as soon as he sees me, what if we can bribe this guy with a donut? That would be something. Yeah, they don't attack me on sight.
Excellent guess, Crest. You're being watched.
Yeah. I'm being what? Okay, so could I create a distraction somehow? Is one of these other things actually going to be important? I wish I'd written down everything about them, but why would I have done that? Okay. The one time in my life that I attempted to play Grim Fandango, it was an adventure game experience kind of like this for me, of like every step was just a single step that then left me with no idea what to do next, with the big difference being that I kept breaking down and looking at a walk, so I wasn't even figuring out the next step. I just kept looking at one next step, doing it, and then being like, okay, what the fuck does any of this have to do with anything? I don't know. I should probably try Grim Fandango sometime again, because like, absolutely love the aesthetics, and like it's like people love it, but I bounced off it so hard because I just felt like, yeah, I remember this something about a litter box and like I'm not sure if the version I had the tank controls. Probably not, because it was definitely some kind of remake. Okay. I don't, Stimpinski, but I would love to know. Alright. I'm going to break down here. I will try all the numbers because... An important unit. What the fucks per minute. Okay. I don't see why any of these would do anything when there's not even like a... The replicator doesn't cooperate. From Mr. Owens here, but...
It sure doesn't.
I wish they hadn't recorded an error message or
It sure does.
Connected the generic error message to if you click wrong. Yeah. Definitely a high ratio. Like, I just remember that there was a puzzle fairly early on that had something to do with a litter box. And, like, I solved no part of it on my own. It was all just looking up, like, go to the... But, like, every step I was like, in what way, like, did anyone ever figure this out by any method other than pressing every single thing in every single place? This is definitely the worst Space Quest. It's not a terrible game, but it is continuing the grand Sierra tradition of all of their flagship series limping to the finish line. Quest for Glory 5, a deeply flawed game. At least, like, it's by far the worst of the 5. And it's got some real weird quirks. It's not bad. It's quite good. Is still so far for me, like, you know, or at least the one thing King's Quest 9, 8 can claim for itself is it was trying to do some new thing. It didn't work or feel like King's Quest in the slightest, but it had some ideas. It was fascinating to play. This is just more like, there's a lot that's well executed in it. Pretty good graphical style. Great work by Gary Owens. There have been good puzzles in it, but a lot of these puzzles are not doing it for me. I don't think
It sure does.
the answer will be here, but at least I'll know, because there's only 2 numbers left to type in. And then we have the fact, like, it's something to do with the donut. Like, it has to be. The whole getting arrested thing changed nothing. It doesn't even make Roger a wanted man when he escapes.
Excellent guess, Kreskin. Wrong, but excellent.
Really frustrating to have Roger walk over there before playing the generic error message. Is there anything we can do with this
plant? An unusual plant specimen that someone left behind. It appears to be thriving here. Perhaps it prefers beer and popcorn to fertilizer, and you grow it lamps.
Well, it definitely doesn't seem to care for donuts.
Don't pick at it. You'll only make...
Hey, folks, want a donut? No. I think my least favorite thing about the game, though, so far, which again, it's not bad. I'm having an okay time. It's just like, I had a great time with most of the Space Quest games. Really, with all of them, to varying degrees. Just revisit everywhere. But yeah, it's the proliferation of the generic error message. Sometimes I really, really wish. Can we put the donut in the kitty litter for some reason?
Guess, Kreskin.
You want Captain does not want. If I talk to him, does he seem to know?
Janitor will go. You must have something to clean up.
You start to...
No. Hey, Dorf.
You get a jump on senility by mumbling to yourself.
Well, I was trying to click on Dorf to see if he would react to the fact that I've escaped.
Your words cause everything to become speechless.
But no. Almost every like the standard response of every character in this game. Did I miss something in the brig while thinking that I had to escape quickly? Oh god, what if it's that... Oh no, I don't even want to entertain... I must entertain the thought. What if this is the only one? This is the one that we've seen working.
It sure does. It sure does.
I'll say this, I was a hospital janitor. No, okay. Not even an error message.
You summon the ability to leave it.
Yeah. There's not going to be a second thing there. Your mom, welcome! We are slogging our way bit by bit through Space Quest 6. Hope your Saturday's treating you well. I have a hellish week ahead of me. Well, like, there's so much marking left to do, and I would really like, if possible, to have all my final grades in by Friday of next week. This 4-day weekend is poorly timed. On the other hand, like, except for the volume of it, I'm not one of these teachers who's like, oh, I hate to mark. I enjoy looking at my students' work. Nice, Stimpinski.
It would appear that it probably... As cool as... That's an...
Okay. Can't see why the Holo-Cabana would be of any help now. Back to Roger's quarters. I did that once, but I didn't think to click the donut on everything to see if Roger will make a... something.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Not a good one, but interesting nonetheless.
Well, at least you're acknowledging that it was
as
interesting.
Cool.
Put it in my pants.
Excellent. It would appear. Excellent. Boy. It probably. Boy.
If I... Don't know. Well, where else haven't I gone yet? I mean... Where else haven't I not returned to? Sick bay.
Jabba is an interesting looking...
I was trying to click on it.
It's a case of something you don't care about. Many things rest on the center console. Most of them are merely non-functional screen dressing. Pretty cool looking, eh?
Would either of you like a donut?
Boy, wouldn't it be... It would appear...
Nope.
Excellent guess, Christian. Wrong.
Every time it has Roger walk before
Excellent.
playing the generic error
It would
message.
appear... Boy...
Oh, is it? Okay. Roger walks when you have clicked on something that is not going to solve your problem, but that is an active, investigatable thing. Is that the idea? Yeah. Bit by bit, I mean, that is how I got 2 steps further into the quest here. There.
As cool as...
That answers that. You can verify that something is a clickable, interactable object. Morphine. Okay. I try to put food on the guard because, like, we know that the pinch works on the neck having guard. The not neck having guard is enjoying his snacks. Can I lace the donut with morphine?
Good thinking.
Yes. Okay. 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 So, maybe when I have the lace donut, it just lets me put it there. It doesn't care that he's looking. Or maybe I'm still waiting, trying to figure out. He's up to somewhere around his shoulders and his jaw. It did work, your mom. It worked brilliantly. I'm lucky that the animation of the other guy looking in there played out just as I was like, well, time to click on everything. Again, it's like, it is one of those things where she's like, okay, I can click on all these things in here and she gives me a generic error message. But if I click on this one thing, Roger somehow knows to steal morphine, and neither of the sickbay people care that he's stealing morphine. Why does he know to take morphine? Is morphine the only thing in the fridge? It's just a big fridge full of morphine? Oh, sweet. When I was reading your message, I got the word, like, you know, you sometimes pull a word up. And so I read it as a restaurant that I never go to. And I thought, oh no, this is not going to be a story that ends well. I went to a strange restaurant and ordered something called Ultimate Roast Beef. But if it's from a restaurant you already trust. Oh. Okay. Do I just wait for him to eat it, or do I then have to be doing the pinch? All right. Oh. Huh. They didn't want to use dialogue from Tango and Cash or Hudson Hawk when they specifically referred to using dialogue from one of those films. But they don't mind just straight up doing the singing frog. I Hello, my honey. Hello, my baby. Hello, my ragtime gal. So I guess this wasn't morphine per se. You know, it's a great music video. Only, not really. Hold on. Only partially into, like, I just saw a guy playing a piano and I immediately thought of
No, you can't get away. I got you
Garth
now.
Brooks' video
I
for
can't believe this is a real job. Oh,
The Red Strokes, where he's in a white suit in a white room playing a white piano. But then as the song gets more intense, he's hitting the chords going, oh, the Red Strokes.
Could I would.
Yeah.
Jeez, why don't you step outside, pal?
If only if the opioid crisis was this fun.
I think I broke a fingernail here.
But when he starts hitting the piano chords, it starts getting intense. They start like splashing red paint on him.
Smooth move.
And then
got his keyring.
The utterly goofy highlight, though, of that video is when it gets to the guitar solo, and he's like playing the piano, and the guitar solo starts, and the camera starts moving up, and because the guitarist is standing on the piano playing, and the guitarist playing the guitar solo is also Garth Brooks. Great stuff. I'm not going to pretend. Oh, these are not the keys to the shuttle bay, are they? They're the keys to the vehicle itself? No? Yes?
You pinch yourself.
I'm surprised that Garth Brooks, a guy who is successful enough to do whatever he wants, that he gave up on Chris Gaines after just one go. Maybe I do need to use this.
As cool. It would have. As.
Nope. Can we just go? Nope. Press the button, Roger. What is he doing? Do I need to search this?
I really don't think that's a good. Yep, he's. No amount.
Is this a glitch? Oh no. Does the text say something? No loitering. Smiley faces. Have a nice day. Post no bills. Have a nice day. Post no bills. This space for rent. Eat at Joe's. No loitering. Okay, wait. I get it. I need to stand equidistant and get my hands on both at once. It's a 2-button system. Oh. And now I know why I have the arm. God damn it, Roger. No, it worked. Okay. I was like, do I actually have to get his feet in the right position so that he will visually touch both buttons? Hey, it's like the Get Smart. Okay. Bit by bit. Great minds. So at this point, yeah, let's use the key.
That's an interesting idea. As cool.
Just use it on all of them, I guess.
It would have...
See if it's that simple.
It probably... Excellent. Excellent. That's an... It probably...
It's not that simple. Okay. Or, oh, wait. If I press the button.
The shuttle's alarm is now deactivated.
Should have realized when there's a very clear button that we're dealing with the parking lot gag. Okay.
The emergency oxygen tank is not removable, nor can you activate it by hand. It's patched directly into the shuttle door's sound effects matrix.
Well, no,
The shuttle feels flimsy.
Can we get this
You're
cup?
not that thirsty.
Can we get this garbage? You never know when you're going to need some space
Gee,
garbage. No.
Gee, you finally decide to do some janitoring. Great timing. You've got wait.
Okay, I probably just need to get going.
It wouldn't be prudent to do that.
Or do I? All right, got to get in the left seat, the main pilot seat. Is this card that I no longer have the key card thing, which is fine.
As cool as it... Excellent.
Okay. Look in the glove box. Glue. Duct tape. Third item.
It's the most indispensable item in the universe. Duct tape.
As Ed Robertson of the Bare Naked Ladies says in the song Duct Tape Heart, fix the fender on the rover that they landed on the moon. It's good enough for you.
It's a tube of Elmo's Gluzol.
That's right. I know the lyrics to Bare Naked Ladies songs from even after Stephen Page left the group.
It's the pump you retrieve from the shuttle trunk. It reminds you of one of those hand pumps you use when the astrohead plugs up.
Okay. Well, close the glove compartment. Movies, games, ICD, points.
The power is not currently on.
Yes. Yeah. That would be my greatest weakness as a spy. More than anything else. It would be that we're all just hobnobbing, enjoying our martinis. My cover is complete. And then over the speakers at the ballroom, it goes, "It's been," and I know all the words. Oh, now make you stop, think. Wait. Oh, the devil. I can't remember the first line. Oh, the devil with the hoodwink will make you stop, think. You think you're looking at a man or summon fish to the dish, although I like the sushi swish, I like the soda, never touch the frying pan, hot like the sapi, etc. Yes, it's my doom. And then I'm like, but have you heard on their latest album, In Flight? Like, what? They have more than one album? What are you talking about? Okay, points go up. No. Photo triangulation system, offline. Well, that's to throw them off, right? They think this can't this is somebody pretending to be James Bond. This is the distraction. The real James Bond is just let this fake Bond just do what he wants while we lay a trap for the real James Bond. The intermix display. The confirmation code is lasagna. Okay. Can we play a minigame? Not installed. No menu. No movies. Really? Because the only Casino Royales I'm familiar with are the Woody Allen parody movie and then the later Daniel Craig one. And obviously neither of those are actually based on the novels. Oh, wait, right. Damn it. Yeah, that is the thing in the Woody Allen movie. Oh. Woody Allen. I did it again. My name is sorry, no. God. We went over this and over this. I'm Chris Smith. Initiation, launch system, intermix not correctly set. Make necessary adjustments. Okay. Yeah. I'm Chris Gaines. We can see right through that, Mr. Brooks. Yeah, we don't need cheap viewers here. So enjoy the cornfield. Old time ether. 3. Okay. So sodium, nitrogen, neptunium, cobalt, barium, proscenium, iron, lanthanum, strontium, chlorine, tin.
That's delightful.
Okay. So, oh no, we can change this too. So, a question becomes, is this navigation computer online, system integrity failure?
Well, I guess this isn't going to help me now.
No, that's fair, Roger. Okay. Could this be another puzzle in the manual? Probably not. But I ought to look. Okay, goodness gracious. There is a periodic table, and it says solution to last month's puzzle. Yeah. I don't know if I've ever said that about beer, but like, yeah. Are you done your supper? Are you, definitely one of the weird ways that we talk. I think to me, like more than a boot, which again, I insist that I'm saying about, which is also not, I don't think, how you're supposed to pronounce it. But to me, it feels like when I say that word, it's A-B-O-A-T, like a sailing vessel. To me, the most Canadian or at least East Coast thing is yeah, no, or no, yeah. Yeah. That had never occurred to me. I guess you would typically say grade. In the master folder for each iteration of each course I teach, there's a marking folder and a grades folder. But the marking folder is where I store like the feedback for marking before I upload it. The grades folder is where I put all the numbers at the end of the term to calculate the final grades. All right. Is this somehow... Is there a clue here? I don't know. Perhaps I should stand up. Actually, hold on. Let's go back to this for a second. Especially the confirmation code. Yeah, I think that it's a real mix. Because, like, for example, if I'm doing the alphabet song, which I haven't done, so it's good. But just like, you got to call it Z or the song doesn't rhyme at the end. But then, like, if I'm watching Pulp Fiction, yeah, there's a character named Zed. Like, he's named after the letter Z. But yeah, to me, yeah, no, and no, yeah are very Canadian ways of speaking, or at least East Coast ways of speaking. Yeah, no means no, and no, yeah means yeah. Yeah, C and Z are definitely... My friend Sid is Australian, and yeah, no. Yeah, nor. Yeah, nor. Nor, yeah. Definitely. Okay. Is there...
The shuttle feels flimsy. You've got way too much to do to spend time messing with that now.
But he walked over to it.
That's an interesting...
But then he didn't that time.
Excellent.
Got a whole bunch of items.
It's the pump you retrieved from the shuttle trunk.
Pump. A thing. Roger will just leave. Is this a clue? Probably not. Especially because it's not just elements in a list. Yet. H2O, O2, N2O, CO2. Can't see how that could have anything to do with the puzzle. And yet, I've written it down. Are these all the same lists? No, they're not. Okay. Okay. Look elsewhere in the manual. See if a clue is there. Don't think there is one in the manual. No. Okay. So, let's check here. Okay, tin is 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're not going to be brute forcing this one.
You might want... You can't snap a picture if the PTS is offline.
Well, how do we put it online? I don't know.
That wouldn't...
There's nothing else in there.
It's the right side. This panel would control the weapon systems were the shuttle so equipped. This is the shuttle's cockpit. All the action takes place right here. This looks like the launch initiation button. At least that's what it says it is.
Okay. So we need 4 elements with specific order and a confirmation code. Do not think that this is a puzzle that can be solved with logic.
The shuttle feels...
I mean, pure logic. Quite possibly it's a logic puzzle. And there are clues elsewhere, maybe? I don't know.
Some guy wearing a Delco air filter on his face parked this shuttle.
Can I? Probably not.
Your words are so...
No. Not gonna be able to talk to anybody. Whoa, we had Roger moving really quick for a moment. Okay. If I go back, am I just arrested? Nope, they're gonna stay nice and unconscious. Okay. Checking again. I don't have... No. I've got nothing in my pockets. That seems like it would turn out to be a helpful clue. Oh. Decided to spare me watching Roger walk over there. Why would any of the rest of this stuff help? Here's the thing I'm going to ask for right now for anyone in the know, Cedric, which is just, have I already seen the clue? Like, should I already know the basic principle?
Now's no time. They would make it. You won't. Unless... And there isn't.
Can I unspool all the duct tape and then... No.
There's nothing to pump in this window.
It is copy protection. Okay. Thank you. Can we just load back to the ship? Yes. Okay. So it's got, okay. We have this periodic table of the elements page. It's sideways. Let me rotate it. Zoom in. It's not immediately obvious to me how this periodic table could be giving me a hint. If indeed it is. Well, hold on. Here's something I can safely do without spoiling myself. Space Quest 6 copy protection. Data quarter, intermix puzzle. It is something about the periodic table in the manual. So what? Well, there's an asterisk next to lanthanum. Rex! Well, it's going. It's fitful. Early on today, I was just brute forcing shit. Read the whole database. And of course, it's the very last entry for the Vulgars in the creature database that it's like, here's a number for the holodeck. And then you learn the nerve pinch. And then I got arrested and imprisoned in the brig and immediately perceived that the answer was going to be to make a fake Roger out of all the food they brought me. But I kept trying and it wasn't working. And it turned out that the answer was, yes, that is the answer. You just need to click exactly the right foods in exactly the right order. And then I bumbled on a little bit further and actually solved a few puzzles in a row. Felt like I had momentum. And then here's a copy protection puzzle, I guess. But I don't get it. I don't get what the puzzle is. So... No, the asterisk and the hashtag aren't doing anything here. That's like a clue to the puzzle. It's just telling me where the lanthanide series and the actinide series starts, which are, of course, with lanthanum and actinium, or actinum, whatever it's called. Okay, back to the copy protection site for a moment. Boom. If I bring up their version of the periodic table. Yes! One of the nicest touches in this game. Especially since, given that Scott Murphy and Mark Crow were on the outs at this time, you could imagine Scott Murphy just being like, we're not using that stupid song. I hate that guy. So somehow, allegedly, the periodic table is a copy protection clue. Can I find another example? Like, I can see that I don't know. What's the other famous example? Or at least another. Space Quest 6 copy protection. What I want is to not just be told the answer if it's indeed a puzzle, but I don't even understand how to get started. Oh. Well, that's sad too. Now I'm just on a crazy, completely unorganized page of different copy protection examples from different Sierra games, none of which are Space Quest 6. I don't want to skip solving a puzzle if there's a puzzle here. I just don't understand what it might be. Let me show everyone. Maybe somebody else has more chemistry knowledge than me. I mean, that's not a maybe. All right, this isn't showing the whole thing. I have to change the filter a bit. One moment. Tell me if you can see a way, like, am I just missing that, like, there's some elements out of place here. very gradually revealing both sides. Yeah. Okay. I know the activation code? Oh no. Like the confirmation code? Or is there some code that I'm supposed to know? Oh, current code, lasagna. Oh my goodness. Lanthanum. Okay. See, what I didn't realize was that it's by default, it was on the correct one. And the correct code thing lights back up. So then, okay. Turns out this does not require high-level chemistry knowledge. Oh, let me stop covering the game with the manual. I do not need to look at a periodic table to solve this. I have enough chemistry knowledge to know that La is lanthanum, that S is sulfur, that Ag is silver. And we already have neon locked in. Initiate. There. Hooray! Okay. Activate the nav computer. Offline. System integrity failure. Okay. Stand by for retinal scan. Oh. Thank goodness I have an authorized eye.
Let's see if this sucker works.
Hey! Here's your fish!
It's an obvious gag. But it was fun. Here's where the budget went. The suits made us spend half the development budget on a shuttle launch sequence.
Janitor Wilco, what are you doing? You have no authorization to take that shuttle. To make matters worse, you have launched into the middle of a super double reverse anti-anomaly. You will turn that ship around immediately and head back to the shuttle bay. Do you understand, Wilco?
No, I shan't.
Bite me, Commander.
What was that last transmission, Wilco?
We're having a little problem with the signal, sir. I mean, with all due respect, sir, I did plead with you not to leave Stellar behind. Sir, I sense that something's just not right with that community. I don't believe Stellar is dead, and I just can't leave her there. I'm going to do this, sir, regardless of the consequences. Stellar saved my life not once, but twice. I owe her.
She really saved your life that second time.
Mistake. I demand that you return at once, Wilco. If you do so and surrender now, your record will be taken into consideration during your disciplinary hearing.
Oh, that'll help you loads.
I'm sorry, sir, but I just can't. I have to do this.
Wilco,
It does have that
you
Wing
fool!
Commander kind of feel to it. I've never played that much Wing Commander. I know my uncle had it. I remember getting it started
Just
on
then,
his computer.
The shuttle is sucked
I think it
into the
seemed so cool.
anti-anomaly. Communication with the deep ship has been disrupted.
Okay. This feels like we're going into the third act, but how long is the third act? It is getting a little later here. It's WrestleMania tonight. And we have new living room furniture, so we're excited about that. Press this flickering button, Roger.
Sir, I am unable to access the navigational computer. I am guessing that it may have overloaded just as the divalium crystal somehow went offline. Once repairs have been made and the shuttle engines have been refired, I believe I can follow the deep ship's ion trail back to Delta Berxilon 5.
Delta Berxilon.
That would be quite cool, Manuel. You sure about that?
Once the divalium crystal has been repaired, our electrical system reestablished, and the engines fired, I am 97.2% certain.
Why only 97.2%?
I judged 97.2% to sound more hip to our audience than would 100. You would have to mention it.
Sorry.
Don't apologize to me. It's the players you ruined it for.
Okay. What? The objects are back? Well, I'll take them again just in case.
Sir, we are unable to proceed with the divalium crystal offline. A lack of power to restart the engines, and with a potential...
Okay. Gotta fix the ship, I bet. Can we go in here now? Yep. Get a spacesuit. Put it on. Oh, no points for putting it on? Okay. And then, okay. Is there anything obvious that I would use as a tether right now? No. But we're going to go fix the ship, probably with duct tape. At least.
It opens from the inside.
Ah! Had to press the button.
You neatly replace the EVA.
Oh, what? Why, Roger?
Then, the Galactican said, if I did have...
The power is not currently on. You pull the handle and hear something release on the outside of the shuttle.
Okay. I think I most likely am doing this in 5 sessions and need to start thinking about what seems like a good stopping point. It's going to be frustrating if it turns out to just be a tiny one. Because I think what I'm going to do next, while continuing to alternate with Jamie doing Leisure Suit Larry, I got the Suikoden remakes for my birthday. I've only played the original Suikoden as long as you can play it on a Saturday morning when you do not have a memory card and then your sister needs a TV when you're a kid. Fucking brilliant, Rex. That's a really, really good idea. Yeah, I've heard like great things, especially about the second one. And I love the water margin. Although, no, don't shut it, Roger.
It wouldn't be proof.
Okay.
Don't pick.
So hold on. What are all those things I just took? Jumper cables.
These are the shuttle's jumper cables. That sure doesn't make you feel real secure about this spacecraft if those are standard equipment. It's the help sign from the shuttle's trunk. It's the help sign from the...
Okay. So I'm thinking I probably needed to approach the trunk not with action.
The unfilled hollow of space is now just a fabric's thickness away. You forgot just how much more spectacular the view is from outside. You won't find anything like this in any oxygen-filled environment except maybe...
Sorry, Gary. Just couldn't do it anymore. Okay, make sure. Is there not some other obvious spot I'm supposed to be clicking? Okay, got a thing. What is this latest thing I got? I like that they keep giving me back the fish. Oh, that was the fish. Right, because they threw it to me. Okay. I think I probably need to go back in and pop the trunk again, but...
It feels slightly gritty.
Yeah, my one session of Slog-a as a kid, when I had it rented, just ended because, like, I got 3 hours in on a Saturday morning. Then my sister wanted to watch TV. Like, I had to let her return. I called my buddy who did my buddy Jake, who did have a memory card, but we were adolescents, so even though it was like 11:30, he was still asleep. The end. Okay. Pop the hood. Let's try this again. Maybe this part would have been easier for me had I listened more to what the hologram was saying. Oh no! Roger, no!
EVA suits weren't designed just as a fashion statement, Roger.
Okay. Let's try this again.
It would be rather hard to do that.
Okay. Take the suit off, Roger.
What may I do for you, sir?
Okay, I've got that junk. So pop the trunk.
You pull the handle and here's...
Pop the hood. Then, what say we don't just hop out into the vacuum of space? Let's put on some protective equipment. Let's try this the smart way. Grab the fish.
Don't pick at it.
$3.14. Get the jumper cables. Get the help sign. Roger shuts the trunk because he knows we're done. Let's try using the jumper cables. Hello, Opacity Zero. Well, as it happens, what a lovely greeting. No, this is just how I always look. No gimmicks. Honestly, I'm not even at my hottest and most attractive streaming state. Since I have recently started started streaming.
That's an interesting idea. Not a good one.
In character as my my drag persona, Jamie Rose, who is much prettier than me. Okay. So I've acquired all the stuff. But how do I actually go over and...
That's the hood. Beneath it is the shuttle's engine.
Yeah, no shit, sir. Ooh. You know, I've never played Among Us, but I've seen pictures, and I see what you mean about the UI.
Don't pick it. It wouldn't...
Is there any way to... Why can't Roger go over to the engine?
That wouldn't... Don't.
Is it just a matter of actually having to swim there through the vacuum of space?
That's the hood.
Yeah.
That, of course, is your freshly stolen shuttle from the Deep Ship 86.
I don't know about that, Rex. But this might just be because I love the Star Control 2 soundtrack a whole lot. Yeah, we were I was at a party last night, just a small like birthday party for a friend, and we were playing some Jackbox games, and there was one, it was called Press the Button, that, because I get the idea of Among Us, and it was doing an Among Us gimmick of like find the alien imposters, but using the Jackbox gimmicks to be the test thing. Oh, I didn't know that. I know it's all sample based. You know, there is definitely, I'm not sure what part of the game it's at, but there's definitely like this kind of, now that I think about it. I can definitely believe that. My favorite of the songs is the Melnorm theme. And so on. Okay.
That, of course.
Get in there, Roger.
That would.
Yep. Very true. I bet that my favorite I'm in that general region. Somewhere a boot there. Although I don't say a boot. No, I'm Canadian. From the free north. Yes. How about yourself, Opacity Zero? But he's just going to shut the hood.
Roger is in space.
Rex, yes, I did. It was the second game I ever streamed here, so it was years ago now. And whole thing's on my YouTube. I love that game so much. Star Control 2 is such a great game that I heard of it for the first time in the late 90s, just when I got the internet and having the kind of brain that wants to be constantly imbibing information, which is like reading things and so on, and read about Star Control 2 and thought, that game sounds so cool, but I never came across it. And then years and years and years went by, and at some point, we entered the era where you can get access to old games. And like you always could, you know, by stealing them. Go on, Opacity Zero.
Roger it.
I'm intrigued to hear this analogy through. But he's just going to close the trunk. Hey, that's fair enough. But yeah, so like probably long before I played it, I could have had access to it. It just never occurred to me. And then when I started streaming, and I was like, oh my. Well, usually I bring my partner with me She's imposing.
That wouldn't... You neatly replace the E...
Okay. So, like, going back in is nothing. Oh, finishing my thought. So when I finally got it and I started playing it, I had hyped this game up in my mind for like 25 years. We met here. We met here. I don't think any of my IRL friends are in the chat right now that I'm aware of. Some of them stop by from time to time. Okay, hold on. What if there's...
shuttle...
No. Can we take the emergency oxygen? Why would we?
The emergency oxygen...
No, can't take that. Oh, wait. Back of the seat. And this is what?
It's the recall notice.
Okay.
It feels slightly gritty. It feels like...
Feels like it's something.
It feels...
Oh my god, I still didn't finish my Star Control 2 thought, which is that I had like 25 years to hype this game up. And this was... well, we've already seen a multi-breasted woman in this game, Stempinski. And not only was it like exactly what I was expecting in the sense of like the gameplay was just like what I had imagined, but also it lived up to it. Fair points, Stempinski. A 3 or more. I think it was just a 3-breasted woman that we saw. Okay. So this is all, okay. There's going to be a jumper cable puzzle where I have to connect them to this and this, right? I'm going to just jot that down just in case. The O is the negative. The goal posts are the positive. Very good. Very good. Can I get this thing out?
That's delightfully non-helpful.
I guess not. Did I keep the recall notice? Yes.
It's the recall notice for the owner's manual. It reads, Dear Ham Shuttle Owner, it has come to our attention that there is a minor misprint in the owner's manual for the 1000 series of shuttles. Until a new manual can be acquired, please disregard page 73, paragraph 4 of that manual.
Where it reads, as any moron knows, when jumping the 1000 series, please match the plus cable with the plus terminal on the polar flux repeater deck. Follow the same procedure for the minus cable and minus pole. It should now read, as any moron knows, do the same thing. Yeah, okay. So this is just kind of spelling out a clue that I had already interpreted correctly. But thank you. Okay. And I definitely can't take this rolled up thing.
You summon the ability to...
No.
It feels like...
Or maybe I can, and
what
I'm just
may
not...
I do for you, sir?
Can you remind me if you
Sir,
said...
the divalium crystal is still offline, and we'll need a power boost as well once that's repaired.
Oh, it needs to be repaired and then jump-started. But that's probably what the duct tape is for. So is the... Oh, goodness. Okay. I should have known that the crystal and the engine are separate things. I don't know if I should have known, but I knew in my mind moments before I found out when he said when he referred to the crystal, and I remembered, all right, there's a thing.
Wow. Crystal seems to have broken. I swear it wasn't me.
Now we're in deep.
Hey, I've gotten us this far, haven't I?
Yes, and what a wonderful place it is. How did I get hooked up in this deal? My agent's going to be hearing from me big time.
Yeah, so Star Control 2 was just like, yeah, it was everything I had hoped it would be. I didn't, like, imagine having 25 years to build this thing in your mind about this cool, like, adventure RPG space exploration game. And then you play it and it's just exactly what you wanted and you love it. It was cool. Okay, can we fix it with the glue? That's one part of it. But then we got to wrap it in duct tape, don't we?
As cool as it...
Maybe not. Well, hold on.
The compartment crystal has been glued already.
Okay. The other thing was this pump, but I can't see the pump being the answer. Is it just fixed? We can find out pretty easily.
My sole purpose is to help you, sir. Sir, the divalium crystal is still offline and will...
It's still offline. Okay. Can I do something else?
It feels nice. It feels nice.
Okay, we can't use the duct tape on it?
Boy, wouldn't it... It probably...
Okay, is there something else that we could possibly use? Oh, wait. Is this...
Boy, wouldn't it be...
No.
As...
Does it need more glue?
There's no...
No. Does it need to have a fish attached to it?
It would appear that... merging those two items...
Okay, we put the glue on it. I don't see why this pump would help.
It probably... That's an interest... It would...
It feels nice.
Okay.
The compartment crystal has been glued already.
And so, is it just the case that now I can go out and try to do it? Or is there something more I need to do with the crystal?
What may I do for you, sir?
You can, and perhaps I should. For example, can I use the glue on?
Nothing happened.
No.
Nothing happened.
Can we combine the duct tape?
Careful. Combine. Careful. Careful.
Okay. For the moment.
The hood is already open.
Ah, hood is already open. Ooh. Interesting thought.
Nothing happens. See, most games would just give you a generic response when you try something useless like that. But we've custom-tailored this response exactly for you.
Weird meta joke about the generic response for in this one specific situation. I wonder if it's true that custom generic response you only get to hear it if you try that one particular item combination. It's still not as clever as having good options. Okay, let's try this again. Can we do something with the hood now that we've done whatever with the crystal? Oh, Rex. Why did I not think of the fact that there is this... Well...
Someone must have been fixing the diagnostic relays.
Let's see.
You know as much about fixing diagnostic relays as you do about performing a Tetryon particle sweep. Loser. As cool as it would be to...
Okay, for the moment, I wish to know if I can do anything now.
It would appear that merging those two items...
Nope.
That's the hood.
Okay, seems likely that there's more to do inside.
You neatly reply...
Wait. Is this...
Don't screw with a pattern buffer array. If you get messed up during teleportation, it can unscramble...
Okay.
The shuttle...
I ought to just be... Okay, is it definitely not possible to get this?
You summon the ability to leave it...
Welcome back, Lurking British. I don't get it. I will confess. I will freely confess. Okay. We glued this crystal, and then it needs a jump.
It probably seemed like a good... Boy, would...
You can't just connect these. Can't just take the crystal with you.
It feels nice.
Okay. Can we shoot some more? Ah, yes. There it
would
is.
Appear that...
Really frustrating that it will not allow me to, like... Maybe... I really wish that the duct tape
would appear
work.
that...
Yeah, the cool nebula. The weird thing is that if you try to look at the nebula, you just get the same generic message. It feels likely... I know in general, the later Sierra games, it's some kind of nebula space thing, space anomaly. The later Sierra games, they generally tried not to do that.
It just doesn't...
Ah, you have to put them on in the right order. Wait, but if I'm going to go back out...
I am here to serve you, sir.
Hopefully not. I think we're going to remain in regular... in the current time. Okay, I have popped the hood. Although, great help that's been so far. The crystal is glued, but otherwise not touched. If I go out without covering the crystal back up, is that anything? Don't see why it would be. Can I put on the spacesuit and then hook the cables up?
It would appear that merging those two items is...
But for a moment, it was doing the thing where it tricks you into thinking.
You summon the ability...
Whatever that thing is, Roger does not want to touch it.
You summon the... That, of course, is your freshly stolen shuttle from the Deep Ship 86.
Yeah, and then...
That's the hood. Beneath it is the shuttle's engine.
Yep, and yet, game... You will not allow me to do anything with said engine.
It wouldn't be...
Even though it's very, very obvious.
Excellent get.
That we are coming up.
As cool as it would...
Oh no! Have you been shouting into the void? Alright, I'll say goodbye, Rex, because I'm definitely going to wrap up soon. So just in case I miss you. In fact, I assume Danielle is home. Let me go find out if Danielle is home. And say hi to her. Ooh. You know what? I've heard heard the name Strange Advance before. I don't know that I've ever listened to them. But I like new wave. I'm not like a new wave aficionado by any means, but I enjoy new wave. I will have... Okay. There's something for me to look into. Strange Advance. Okay. Let me go check with Danielle, see if she's actually here and if she's waiting on me, anything like that. And then I can go a little bit longer if she's not like, come on. Okay, cool. All right, hang tight, gang. I shall return. Okay, we're back. Danielle's not home. Which means that I don't have to stop right yet. Not that I necessarily would have to stop if she was home. The only thing stopping me, and probably fairly soon, is going to be hunger. But I'm going to hold out a little bit longer in the hopes of... Okay. Let's try brute force.
As cool as it would be to...
Try every item
Excellent.
that I've acquired here on the hood first. See if any of them
Excellent guess, Kreskin.
are the key to initiating the sequence that we know is there.
As cool as it...
Squirt some glue into the vacuum of
Boy,
space,
wouldn't
Roger.
it be cool? As cool...
It's faking me out.
It would appear that merging those two items...
He didn't even go to the area that I was clicking on. We already know the jumper cables
That's an excellent...
aren't going to do anything. Shoot up some morphine, Roger.
As cool as it... As cool...
Oh, what if it's... He's got to be...
Excellent guess, Kreskin.
No.
Wrong.
Just as I got to the end, I thought, it's the fucking recall notice. He needs to hold it, and then that's what'll... Yeah. Hold on. No. Check all the... I was like, what if there is an exit? Will the help sign?
Excellent guess.
What? So wait, am I not even the one who fixes the engine? Roger should really be waiting inside. They did a good job of imitating the Jeopardy song without doing Jeopardy.
Hello, sweetheart. You look like you could use a little assistance. Is there anything I can do?
Well, yes, there is. Thanks for stopping.
Oh, God, of course, because we need a jump.
Name it, I guess.
What was I thinking I was going to do a jump with?
I've stalled my engine.
If I had the jumper cables and not a person.
I have cables.
I'd jump you in a
When I tried clicking everything and then the help sign worked, I was like, well, this is kind of stupid. Why would I have ever thought of this? But obviously, you need to hail another ship. God damn it.
Well, anyway, let's get it done.
Some of the puzzles I felt that were stupid even after I got through them.
Cables.
I'll let you know when I'm all hooked up. Contact.
Click where you want to put the red cable. Hold on a sec. Oh, great. So I can't look. I assume red is... hopefully red is negative? Is this a rule in jumper cables? Hold on. Jumper cables generally, not Space Quest jumper cables. Just jumper cables. Red, blue. Red and black. Red, positive. Thank you, Stumpinski. Why would I even bother Googling? Okay. Well, we still want to save, even though I think this is going to work. Alright. If red is positive, it needs to connect to this one.
That's just another thing I don't understand.
Oh. These are red and blue. I still hope that it's positive, negative.
Okay, Manuel. We're all hooked up. Give it a try.
Bye-bye, sugar bunny.
Hey.
I gotta be running along.
Hey, thanks for stopping to help me.
Sometimes it all comes together.
See ya.
Oh, well, that's kind of a mean-spirited joke. There's definitely something a little more caustic about this Space
EVA
Quest.
suit in its proper place.
Are we online?
I am here to serve you, sir.
What's the story?
Sir, I believe the divalium crystal is still offline.
Okay. Well, can we glue it some more?
There's no need to attempt gluing it again.
Can we duct tape it now?
As cool as it would be to...
No. Can we touch it?
It feels nice.
Feels nice. Can we add a fish to it? Oh no. We can't do anything. The game is frozen. Is this a sign? Is this the universe telling me? Put a pin in this? Well, if it is, I reject it. Not ready to shut her down. Just yet. Very soon, but not just yet. Wubbada 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 wub. Yeah. Excellent point, Cedric.
Okay, Manuel. We're all hooked up.
We get the jump. And then I guess I just go and I mess around with the crystal some more. Quite possibly we can brute force this.
Bye-bye, Sugar Bunny. I gotta be running along.
No.
Hey, thanks for stopping to help me.
But we did get the engine. We got the engine started, but the crystal, though being glued, is not fixed. We get this. I don't love the joke of the helpful, breathy voice lady comes and saves Roger, and then he just watches as a xenomorph prepares to murder her. This is kind of like
You neatly replace the
the seasons of The Simpsons that people sometimes refer to as the jerk-ass Homer seasons. We've got jerk-ass Roger here. Yeah, I mean, there is that. Maybe he's just thinking, like, she'll be fine. Oh, is this a message from Danielle? Let me check. Oh, no. It's one of my other dear companions, Gregory. He's very happy about his favorite wrestling promotion, NXT's show today. So good for him. This isn't going to work. I already tried this. This looks like it should go in and connect those two things.
That's an interesting idea. Not a good one, but interesting nonetheless.
Well, thank you for that. Can we take the little thing here now?
That wouldn't prove fulfilling.
Nope.
It feels nice.
Touching it just makes him say it feels nice.
You know as much about fixing, loser.
Yeah, Roger's a loser. Okay. Can't scroll anymore. Can we just stick the recall notice to it?
Guess, Kresk.
Okay. Brute force.
It would appear that... Boy, wouldn't it be cool if that...
I mean, we're still carrying the thing even though it doesn't work anymore.
As cool as it would be to interface the... Nothing happened.
Can't glue it again. Oh. Danielle is calling. Hang tight, gang. I'll be right back with you. And we're back. Daniel is almost home. And I will wrap up shortly. But I would love it if I figured this out. Although I can't see how that's going to happen. I haven't tried injecting with morphine, have I?
Excellent guess, Kreskin.
No. Okay. What if... It's just another place that I haven't looked in the ship.
Don't
open that. Don't open that.
Of course,
no.
You...
Don't open that. Can't take this thing.
It feels...
Can I pick up the paper?
The shuttle...
No.
You're not that third. The shuttle...
Have I missed something?
That's delightfully.
Then the Galactican said, if I did have hover capabilities, I wouldn't need the cleft snorter. Ah, excuse me, sir.
Oh, damn it. I was actually enjoying that dialogue, and then I clicked the mouse by mistake. I was not trying to disrespect him. Can we triangulate a photo? No. Yeah, everything's messed up because of the etc.
It feels like
There's nothing else in there. Quite possibly he told me something at the very start of this sequence that I did not grok to. Oh, heck. Once more for old time's sake. Cedric. Is it right in fucking front of my face? Yeah, I keep looking at that cable and thinking, like, could we do something with that? Because, like, it's got dialogue for it.
you know as much about fixed loser.
Can I lasso it with duct tape?
Boy, wouldn't it? That's an
Yeah.
It feels nice.
And then, like, there's the two yellow buttons, and you think, is this just a pixel hunt?
It feels nice. It feels nice.
But no, it looks like the whole thing in there. Okay, wait.
Careful, combining those. Nothing happens. Careful. In this galaxy. Careful. Careful.
There's something else.
It's the recall notice for the owner. It reads. What was that supposed to be? Clever? There's nothing to pump it. You get fingerprints all over it.
Can't, like,
What was that?
pull off a strip of duct tape. We glue the thing, and then, like, should we have a little piece of crystal?
Gee, you finally The shuttle. The shuttle. The shuttle.
Hopefully I'm not soft locked because earlier I was supposed to pick up a little chip of not dilithium crystal.
The shuttle feels. The shuttle.
The shuttle, the shuttle, the shuttle, the shuttle feel, the shuttle, the shuttle. Here's a loop of duct tape.
They're too far above you to reach.
Can I pull a chair over?
It wouldn't be prudent to do that at this juncture.
Even if I can, it wouldn't be prudent to do it right now.
Don't touch that.
Can I duct tape the oxygen?
It probably seemed like a good idea to you.
No, as I've so often said to you, narrator, it's not that it seems like a good idea. It's that I don't have any ideas. Okay. Thank you, Cedric. What if we put the helmet over the crystal?
That's an interesting idea.
I thought so. Thank you.
It probably. That's an interesting.
What's this?
The shuttle feels flimsy.
Shuttle. The shuttle.
The shuttle.
The shuttle.
The shuttle.
The shuttle. I can't unhear it now, Stimpinski.
The shuttle feels.
The shuttle. The shuttle. The shuttle. This is where I hit the wall for today. I would have liked, because it feels like probably whatever's next is the initiation of the end game sequence. Or maybe it's not. Maybe this game goes on for a long time. Okay. It's as good a spot as any to stop, I suppose. I guess. Maybe, maybe not. But all right, let's wrap it up there. So, yeah. This was fun. Started off stream-wise very quiet. But then eventually the gang's all here. We had a good time. So that was all very fun. I got to remind myself. Opacity 0. Right. Opacity 0 stopped by. Said some very kind things. Quite possibly as part of some sort of joke that I don't get. And that's fine. Because even if they were, I just choose to interpret them as genuine compliments. And I feel very pretty, which is great. Usually, Usually people are only coming by and telling me I'm pretty on the specific streams where I'm dressed as a pretty girl. So that's cool. And made some progress. Some parts of it were fun and I felt like I was actually solving something. Some parts I felt like I was just until it eventually worked. I'm interested to see where it goes and to see it through to the end. So those are all good things. Where are we going from here? Tomorrow, most likely earlier in the morning than usual, we'll be playing Disco Elysium. Stay tuned to the schedule, and I'll make an announcement in the Discord when the moment comes. I got to talk to Danielle, figure out exactly what we got going on as far as anything to do tomorrow, because the big thing for me tomorrow, or for us, is that we got stuff. We have, it's Easter. April 20th, Easter. I'll pass the regards of the chat along. And yeah, we'll have some April 20th, some Easter Day activities that we got to get up to. So start a little bit earlier in the day, but Disco Elysium, it's great. And we're cooking along. One day, we're going to find out what all happens at the end of Disco Elysium. And I'm excited. Then it's a topsy-turvy week. There will be no Greg and James beat 'em up, but on Wednesday, there will be Friday Night Frosthaven. Wednesday night, Friday Night Frosthaven. I don't know if we've ever done it on a Wednesday before, so I might need to come up with another little gimmick name. But at any rate, we're starting the boss fight scenario that if we win, Rich retires the pain conduit at last and gets to become Friday Night Frosthaven. And he becomes, next, the Savas Pyroclast, which will be exciting for him because he loved being the Craigheart. And now it's like the Lava Craigheart. So that's cool. And then Friday, barring unforeseen disaster, because I always got to say that when we're talking about a Jamie stream because there's a lot of prep involved, the Professor Jamie Rose will be here. And she's going to put Leisure Suit Larry on pause because that's her Saturday afternoon game. She's going to try a modern visual novel game called Fledgling Manor that I keep hearing about because I follow the creator of it, or one of the creators on Blue Sky. I've been meaning to check it out. It seems like a good game for her. So we're going to check that out and have some fun. Jamie After Dark. And then, after dark, and then, before you know it, it'll be Saturday again. And we're playing Space Quest next Saturday. And we're going to beat this game. Come hell or high water. So yeah. That's the agenda. And beyond Space Quest 6 for me lies Suikoden, which I'm really looking forward to experiencing with the ability to save for the first time in my life. If you stuck around to the end, thanks for sticking around to the end. If you came and you left, you can't hear my voice. I'm glad you stopped by anyway. So thanks for stopping by. And until the next time, when we're all gluing the crystal together, take care of yourselves and be kind to everyone you meet.